I'll bring it now.
Okay.
That's the end of a baseboard, right? Because that's the pattern out it.
Okay.
That's one of the patterns, right? So that'll bolt on the baseboard. That'll bolt onto the baseboard, yeah.
Okay.
And it's the same at the other end, right?
Right.
And then we can have it at any angle then, because I've got these. You can put these in.
Oh, so you put one at each end and you can rotate the baseboard.
You can rotate it, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And then you can stick these in.
Where's the other one?
Right.
There's another one of those somewhere, is there?
See, I've got. Yeah.
Oh, right, got it.
I've just got to finish it now.
Okay.
Well, it works like that anyway.
So will you be able to put a baseboard on today and see it work?
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right, I'll be back in 10 minutes to see it work.
Right.
Okay, happy with that? Yeah. So now I can get them to colour code it the same, you see.
Yeah, okay.
So I want to do this. So on the other end,
yeah,
does that work?
Yeah, so you want exact same. So again, we want it would be rotated 90 degrees, 180 degrees, wouldn't it? So we want the red there, the black there. So we need to sort of split that pack of in two.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
So now we want.
So we're saying red is here, correct? Black.
Yep. And then your blue for your high. And then yellow for low. Perfect. And these are redundant, aren't they?
So no. So they are the 12.
So now we want black and red there.
Red.
Red's this side, isn't it?
Yeah. So all the reds are going to be on that side.
We'll get a print out of a drawing as well, just.
Yeah. Right, so
yeah. And that obviously that's replicated the exact same.
I would like to not
Remove all the insulation.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So we've got 4 greys.
Yeah.
But we take off the ends and do what we need to do.
Yeah.
They are what?
No, I'm just saying, but you know, if there's anything wider.
It wasn't the lorry sitting in one lane, it was the escort.
No, they do that with the transporters. That drives me mad.
Yeah.
Remember when we were going to Blakemere?
Sorry. Right.
Dave, the camera is on.
Okay.
Oh dear, Dave. You classic.
You know when you saw me walk up the stairs and say hello? Assuming
In that 1 minute,
I know, yeah.
There must have been 25 discreetives. I don't think you couldn't even try it. If I'd have asked you to do it, Dave, I'm pretty sure it was impossible.
If you had to bleep, it'd be like a musical star. Bleep.
Look, you could play Never Gonna Give You Up on the amount of bleeps. Oh dear.
Right. Anyway.
Oh dear. Dave, don't.
So I'm late to the party today. Have you been busy, Pete?
Yeah, we have actually.
Yeah, you missed it all day.
Oh, okay. I'll go home then.
No, the point is, it's like, I know we've said this before, and I'm pretty sure, you know, people don't quite believe what we say, but it's the truth. This is the last layout.
Right.
No, let's get this very plain. And in this, we can't build anymore. Build on this is pushing our envelope to the extreme because it is so complex.
Yeah.
So, but literally, there will be, if there is no cathedral next year, so we're then limited, or we're then, what are we doing? So we've had a conversation this morning that looks at Wembley, and one of Phil's buildings on the Wembley station is 3 feet?
30 inches.
30 inches.
700 odd mil.
That's like that size. So on a 2 foot board, it's hanging over the foot.
Right.
So,
Bigger than some layouts.
Pete's fault.
so I mean, it's bringing into focus because to put Watford, to put Wembley into the layout that goes straight, you have to build two boards. One where the end of the layout is Wembley, and one where you can continue. Because Wembley, of course, is now in the fiddle yard.
Right.
It isn't on the front.
Yeah.
So it will never be on the front. It will always be
Round the corner.
around the corner. So therefore, you're going out of Wembley, either round the corner into a fiddle yard or straight into a fiddle yard. So it's not as simple as building one simple Wembley station. You have to make it so you can have a straight board and a curved board.
Right.
And that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and it's, what are we doing? We're doing all this work, and then you've got, at the other end, you've got Bushey, which is incredibly technical. To do what? What are we doing it for? Because after the cathedral, this won't, you know, we won't be able to take this to the cathedral because we're taking, you know, Watford. So effectively, we're going, this layout will be for next year, but we don't know what we're doing next year. We're doing Scotland and we're doing Getz and the NEC, but
Well, Scotland's not the teams there.
yeah, but no, okay, I'm just saying that the shows we're doing. But after that, we don't know. So we're just sitting there saying, well, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? And I'm saying, we're doing it because, well, I'm doing it because I love building these things and I love the challenge. But if it's, but as Dave quite rightly says, we are getting towards 80, or some of us. Well, literally, we just cannot lift this stuff. I mean, you know, transporting how many boards for the 216 layout?
About six, too many. How about 6? Is there 28 each side, so that's 58 boards. And then if you've got any extras on side,
So just the front bits and the back.
yeah, so
Well, that's 65 boards.
66 altogether.
So what? It's 5 vans.
Too many.
Well, yeah, and you've got to load those vans, you've got to unload those vans, you've got to then put it all up in the hall, level it all up, get it all working. It's a huge, huge task. Now you can't do that for a 2-day exhibition. It doesn't. The cost is too much. But for us, sitting around this table, particularly us four,
Well,
and Paul, it's.
and I'm falling apart.
Yeah, it is questionable.
So what about the idea that was floated about moving on to do it for us?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. Which you were here for that conversation.
Yeah.
But obviously, that is the only alternative because,
That's sort of holiday season then, is it, for the show?
well, again, you know, we ain't got that far. But I mean,
But Bushey won't fit in at Blakemere.
see,
Understood.
yeah. Well, we're going to work out that, aren't we? We're going to have a look.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll fit. The way the layout's been put in before, it will not fit.
Yeah.
This is MT4.
5.
5.
MT4 won't fit, MT5 won't fit.
Right.
Well, MT4 won't fit because it's 72 feet.
Yeah.
But we definitely can't go 72 feet, you blame me.
Right.
Bushey won't fit because it's too wide at the pinch point
Yes.
of the building.
I understand.
Unless.
Unless we can get it straight, but I don't think we can or not.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, again, I don't know. There is an alternative at Blakemere we can use. I would need to go and have another look at it, and talk to Steve about it. But I love Blakemere, where we are is lovely, particularly at that time of year with all the trees and the decoration.
And Bushey doesn't fit in Wales either.
Right.
No, it doesn't fit in, because again, it sticks out too far.
Okay.
I thought the plan was to take the whole lot to Wales though.
Yeah, but
the
you
whole lot
can't.
doesn't fit in Wales either.
No,
The Wales
You're
is
208 feet, aren't you? You've got.
No, the Wales is 210 feet long,
Right.
but we either are a 200 foot layout or a 216 foot layout.
Right.
We're not a 208 foot layout anymore. So we've got to take 8 foot out to fit in, so we'd be 200 foot.
but we can do that because we've got the time to do that.
Right.
But we can do
Because we've
that.
got a week on our own. We
And-
just take out what's the name?
Blissworth.
Blissworth.
is 16 feet long, and we slotted that in so that the ends of Blissworth already should line up.
Right.
But we've got time anyway when we get there to line them up.
But Bushey platforms fit at Wales, but not the rest of Bushey we were planning to make. Doesn't fit.
The width doesn't fit because you've come out 4 feet.
The DC lines, basically.
Yeah, DC lines.
Well, it's the platformy bit at DC lines don't fit.
Yeah.
So this is So that's what Phil and I have been doing this morning, working out because it's got 3 levels. Because it comes around a corner in a platform, there's 1 level, then it goes down another level. I was hoping it was going to go down significant, but it's not significant, but it's enough to create a problem. But Dave's got around that. We got around that at Keffin Viaduct, so we know to do that. But the great thing about Bushey is it's got great buildings, great stations, great platforms and carriage. I mean, they're really interesting. Plus, there's a sort of hole in the middle of it, which is quite interesting. But it's covered in trees and greenery, so it's a perfect match to stick in there. Where you've got Wembley, which is all fabulous buildings, colours and graffiti, you've got this, which is the opposite, which is all green and wonderful.
Yeah.
And we have to then decide whether we're going to fit the point, where we're going to fit the point to give us the shuttle. Whether we fit a point to do, all these are in the future. They're decisions we've got to make.
Because the problem with putting a shuttle in is you need 3 foot after the point to do your shuffling.
Yeah.
Right?
So you want another 4 boards?
Yeah.
You got the overhead on it?
No.
That's all right.
No, they're all fiddly yard.
And called crossboard.
Crossboard and fiddly yard.
Well, there's no back seam.
Nope. 2 point boards, 1 crossboard and 1 fiddly yard board.
What about them 2 you're using downstairs for all the gear that's on them?
They are not boards, mate. We've used all your boards. Those ones that we've got all them, they're Phil's old boards. The ones he
The ones we had
scrapped.
in Chester last year.
They're the scrap ones. The ones you used that were underneath, we've used.
I didn't know there was a scrap board.
Yeah,
The scrap. Remember when we had the flats at Chester at the end? There were those boards, and we made them bigger for Milton Keynes. And made them bigger again for.
Yeah, but you're not damaged enough yet.
No, but they're only. They're not.
they're only ply.
They're odd size. They're not. They were designed to go on the back for the flats. They weren't designed for the track.
Tom, you got some tweets?
No, that's
They're just scenery boards, in other words. They're not they don't take track.
It was just to stick the flats on. At the end of the Chester, that's what they were for.
And then if you remember, we had 2 spare boards, which is why I put the tables and I was modelling on top. But they've gone there already parked, we've used them. So the board that I've got all my workbench on, that's just Phil's one from Chester. That's a question. Will we need any more tables?
Oh, for Christ's sake. You better ring Margaret up and just tell her carriage ain't going to get painted again this year.
Well, I better tell her then.
If we need tables, we won't need them until we do the 216.
Okay.
We won't need them for Wales, and we won't need them for Derby or Chester.
How many tables? I don't know how many tables we've got. Lots of.
The answer is lots.
Well, that's all I really count.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of kept tables, isn't there?
Yeah, but there's not as many tables as boards.
No, but there's enough tables to do 200 foot long, weren't there?
Yeah.
Well, we're only doing 130 odd foot long, aren't we?
Right.
60 at Derby and 70 at Chester.
How does 8 work into 60 or 70? 64 or 72?
No, we
tables.
Tables wise, we were 200 foot long of effectively layout
Yeah.
tables worth.
Yeah.
When we go to Derby, we've got 64 foot of tables worth, and then at
72 feet.
sorry, 64 at Derby, 72 at Chester.
I think on a 64 foot layout there's only 6 tables. So that's 12 tables for a 64 foot layout.
It's the overhang.
We've got more than 24 tables down there, haven't we?
Still.
Oh, yeah, you've got about 50 odd.
Yeah, so we're covered for the summer.
Just that Milton Keynes has got its own wider legs, hasn't it? The 4 foot ones,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Got 4
yeah,
legs, 4 foot wide.
And we didn't use them on
We didn't
Watford.
we've not used them for
since the NEC.
Milton Keynes last one, wasn't
NEC.
it? NEC.
So Watford's got its own table for the back, isn't it?
That 4
Is
foot
it
one.
Watford?
We did use it.
Oh, right, have we? Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
We used it at Watford at the NEC, didn't
At the back?
we? Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, there is, isn't there? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a table at the back at Watford.
Which is separate from the 4 foot tables.
Oh, it is a 4 foot table.
Don't mean 4 foot length, I mean 4 foot wide. There's 4 legs down there,
yeah,
4 foot wide.
No, I'm talking about that.
No, there's only one
Yeah.
big one, isn't there? You've only built that Milton King one once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Confused, Dave?
Totally.
Clear as
It's on the
mud.
club, Dave. We're all confused.
As long as we keep moving in the same direction, we'll be good.
Forward, boys, forward.
So obviously Chris is well advanced with the wiring, and Tom.
I'm not sure advanced is the right word, but
We haven't done one board yet, how can we go down?
Advanced
Got
preparation.
preparation is ongoing.
There's 36 to do in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
And he's got us boys colouring.
Actually, Dave,
We're back at school with the colouring pencils,
we're going to
aren't
have
we,
a look
lads?
at you.
For what?
Get the wiring done.
I'm doing no wiring, mate.
Peter, hello.
Everybody's got the same message on
Hello.
it.
Nice day.
Yes. You got much on for the next 8 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, that's off Andy, is it?
Yeah, everybody's got the same one.
The Brit. Just got to get me.
Chris, did you see I put a video out on the RGB panel control?
I did. Yeah, saw that.
So I thought, yeah, we'll get that out there. Drive a stake in it. Then I can get on, I want to get on with the implicit and explicit locking features of the router, but I've got to get this out of the way first.
Yeah, good.
Oh dear. Have you seen? So downstairs, before we take 5 down, because we have to now put back up
Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes to make the crossboards and the new point boards.
Right.
I've actually scenified the whole up to Bushey station.
We'll have a look at that.
That's done now. I've got the fourth. I've got the overground down, overground in. I haven't put the third and fourth rail in. But also, I mean, we can now take that down and we can store them because we need the space to put up the Watford. No,
Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes.
We've got to fix the board we butchered. Yeah.
What are you doing, the backs or the front? Are you doing fiddly head or the front?
The back. Oh, I butchered that one.
Well, that's all right. I can do all the repairs, can't I?
Yeah. Well, we need to.
Don't make orders for more of these to do fiddly head.
What are
Might as
they?
well.
It's brilliant.
Oh, the clamps.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Come on.
Chuck one over, Dave. So these all, and they're adjustable.
Yeah, adjustable.
They look good.
That's fab, that.
Let's say there's crawling about underneath.
Have we actually put any on a baseboard?
Somebody, did you see one of the comments about somebody wrote about put the back scenes half an hour? The back scenes don't hold up. We'd have to redo all the back scenes.
What, say that again?
He said instead of bolting the boards together and getting underneath, use the back scenes to half and half. No, that ain't going to work. We've got all the different shapes, haven't we? And all,
Pass it that way when you're done.
Half and half.
yeah, he said if one back scene,
imagine-
one back scene and hold 2 boards together. Don't hold it at the front.
Imagine these are baseboards.
The faces
Yeah.
are already passing. They're permanent. The
So you
faces.
bolts that hold your back seams and hold the tables together. The
Right.
problem with that is you've got no.
You
You can't adjust the tension. And
You
clamping
can't do
force.
anything.
Plus, the back seams aren't designed to take that sort of load.
Yeah, super lightweight.
Well, they weren't designed for
That's
that.
what I mean, it's
Yeah,
not.
no.
Because you'd be asking the whole.
Can you imagine that with the numbering? That'd get funny, wouldn't it? You had 2 numbers on each back scene.
Well, not just that.
It would
You
work.
want the
I don't understand where he's going from, but it just wouldn't work for us.
well, hang
We've
on.
got too many different size back scenes for this.
Well, not just that. You want your when you put your 2 boards together,
Yeah.
you lay your track across the boards
Yeah.
and don't separate them until they're solid.
That's right.
So,
That's nothing to do with the back seat.
eh?
That's nothing to do with the back seat.
No, but I'm saying you want that without your back seat. So why would you? Your back seat's only there as a back seat.
Yeah.
No, it's purely decorative.
It's purely decorative. So it's lightweight, but you wouldn't use your back seam to join the two boards together. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Back from colouring book.
No, you wouldn't. I mean, because, well, that's taking it one stage further, isn't it? That's like, well then you,
Well, you can't get in to do any work on overheads for a start. If you're relying on back seats to fasten boards together, so you can't get in. So it's just the back
well,
seat.
you also,
The back seat is the one when the layout's up.
well, but if your back seams, what, you're doubling your work.
Yeah.
Because where at the minute we just join the two boards together, they're solid, and you fit the backboards on.
Yeah.
If the backboards are part of the actual fixing it all together, you've got to put the pins across and at the back.
I'm alright, close.
And then you can't get in to do any overheads.
Yeah. Well, and all the scenery.
Yeah. No.
And the laying the track.
Right. So those need dividing into these boxes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, it's got two colours missing from there. hasn't it?
Yep, yep.
And
Yep.
it's just all that one separate there.
She's changed this law so I can no longer believe the company can't have the company. So the company effectively
So I'm
Had a really exciting morning.
2,
Cutting these.
Cutting up
6,
wires
8,
to 500
10,
You're making a wig.
metre length.
12 for there.
How many are there?
320.
Is that all of them, or do you still have more to do?
6,
No, I think that's about it.
10, 12 for there. Now we've
But
got
it should cure the wiring problems that we've had.
Hope so.
that's 4 of those, another 4.
With special
there.
super flexi wire.
Yes. Lots of strands in it,
Yes,
so it won't go brittle and break.
except where you saw it.
Where was it? Just give us 4 and 3 there.
But because there's a ferrule with a shroud,
Yeah.
it shouldn't.
That's
Hopefully,
right.
won't affect that.
Yes.
Right. Just let me just make sure I'm on the right one.
So there's 3 of you here. Are you all forming a production line?
Yes,
for-
we are.
Yes,
We've been practicing with colouring pens and the colouring books last week.
Yes.
Right.
And now we're being promoted to the real thing.
Ah.
Right, so they're divided in 2 now.
They're divided in 2. All those there are part of yours there.
Right.
And then yours need copying like that. You see what I mean? So,
Right,
so that next one wants to be a red line.
So the reason we've got them in 2 is because there are different ends,
Right.
and they're not identical. So these 2 centre ones are carrying the CAN cable. Okay, on one side of the CAN cable it's red and black, on one side of the cable it's blue and yellow. That's that. And obviously, as you go the other end, they're reversed. So that's why we divide them into 2. So if you get them lined up like that, then you know that's blue and that's yellow and that's red and that's black.
Right.
All right. So choose your colours. I think you're doing blue at the moment, aren't you, Paul?
Yes, I'm just doing.
Okay. So if you do the red and blacks. Okay, so if one of you does. So in fact, that one there is also red. So it's red, red, black, black.
Right.
So if one of you does red and black.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the easiest way to do
I think the easiest way is to pick the one colour you're going to do on if you look here. See that, you know that one there is going to be blue on that side.
Yeah.
So I'm just going along with all the blues on that side.
Right.
And then come back and do the next colour. So you're picking one row at a time.
Right.
Wow.
Hey. Cleaning up a mess, are you?
Cleaning off a mess.
It's about that far up. Anyway, it's about that far up. It'll only be a bit into timber.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, okay. Okay, you're the expert.
Oh, right. If you want, well, get this one done on these when I'm finished it after.
Yeah.
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 If you can do that for next Sunday, we can put
another
scenic board up.
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
we'll try it on a scenic board.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I want to do.
You've got to work on these boards wiring them, and you can see what it's like now.
Yep.
They're bent over on a table, right?
Right.
So what you can do, right? Hang on, Dave, hang on. What's it?
I'm hanging.
Oh, the bolts come out there. Right, that spins round, yeah? That,
Shall I come round to the front?
that's one Chris.
Yeah, just hold that there. I got it.
When the other end's on, it'll be alright. And then they can sit down, you see.
Yes. Chris, I see a lot of wiring work going on here in preparation. I think you're driving this, are you?
So we are doing a lot of work now, and we've made the decision to rewire the layout. So you might ask us why we've actually come to this decision after making tracks 4.
Chris, why are we rewiring the layout?
So at the NEC, which we went to about 3 or 4 weeks ago now, we experienced quite a lot of problems yet again on getting the trains running. And they were new problems that we hadn't experienced before on other layouts when we take them out. And that's generally because we are seeing wear and tear now affect the layout. So every time we take it out, wires are being stretched, pulled, snagged, and that leads to issues when we run the layout. And particularly the NEC, it was very hot as well, so we experienced a lot of expansion, contraction issues. What that presents us with is lots of shorts going on, or the railway not operating properly. And when we have a short, the entire layout stops, which is embarrassing. It's not great for the public. So we've finally made a decision. Let's rewire the layout to be more robust than it is at the moment. And get over that wear and tear issue.
So the existing layout's a single power district then?
It is, that's right.
So it's all or nothing?
Correct. So we have one power bus going round, and so when we have a short, it affects all the lines. And then on a layout of our size, it takes quite a long time to find where that short is happening. And that means no trains running in front of the public, and that's what we're trying to solve. Now, when we originally wired this, it was a very good reason that we had one power bus, and that was to stop collisions happening if something happened. Now, over time, we've solved a number of problems that cause those collisions or shorts, things like sorting out the couplings. So we no longer use hook and loop couplings, we change to magnetic, and that means we have far fewer derailments that spill over to other lines. So the necessity to stop all the lines has slowly been reduced. That risk is now reduced, and now we've hit this wear and tear issue. It's led us to think, well, let's bite the bullet and rewire the layout.
Wear and tear as in cables breaking?
Yeah, cables breaking. So at the NEC we had a number of joints, the screws and the solder break on us. Which is really unusual, but we had 4 solder points desolder on us.
We have RJ45s as well.
RJ45s, those sockets, again, I think it's due to the heat. We had 5 of those fail on us, and they are a real pain to try and track down which ones are wrong and then replace them. Not easy. So to solve all of this issue, we decided to do a rewire, and that's a big deal. But we've got a good crew, and we're on it into preparation stage at the moment. So we are going to rewire it with 4 power buses, 1 for each line, a 12-volt bus and a CAN bus. So there's going to be 12 wires going all the way around the layout, interspersed with our power boosters. So we're going to be able to split the layout into effectively quarters. So if we do have a short, it'll only affect 1 line and 1/4 of that line. And that means all the trains can continue to operate on 3 lines while we sort out the short that's happening. And that means the public are entertained, trains are running, and we've got operators not standing around looking at each other, working out what's trying to do. So the way we are going to rewire this is going to replace our single connect between boards with this umbilical board, umbilical set of cables. And these are the 12 wires that are going to run around the layout. So we've got 8 for DCC, We've got a 12-volt power bus for the MegaPoints controllers, and then we have a CAN bus for the data that's going to go around the layout. And we've Dave has come up with a way of routing a socket into the boards, which we'll be able to show you now.
Here's the yellow one.
So we are going to be using these sockets, which can hold 12 wires, and Dave has come up with a system of routing that into the board, and they're going to go on each end. So it's a simple matter of slotting that in, and then the next one will go to the next board along.
So the yellow's next to the blue, the light blue. Next to the light blue.
So we're now in the process of preparing all the cables and wires that need doing. So I'm big on clarity, so I want to make sure that everything is colour coded. So we already have our lines colour coded: red, yellow, blue and green, and they are going to be colour coded on the boards as well, so we know which cable relates to what line. And as they go into the connectors, we are colour coding the terminal blocks, so we know which wires to go to what socket. And the connectors are also colour coded here and here, and that means when we come to do the actual wiring, we're not looking around what wire goes to where. It'll be very clear on how it all fits together. We're going to use ferrule connectors, and they're also going to be colour coded, and we're using colour coded ties on the wires, so again it becomes very clear about what's going where, I hope. So there is an awful lot to do. We've got a plan, and so we are wiring this for Chester, and then we'll do the other layouts in preparation for when we go to Wales. This is how we used to connect our single bus between the boards, and this worked very well for us, but this is single strand into here, and what we found at the NEC is these were became desoldered, and so we had to spend a bit of time fixing ones that broke. We're going to be moving to these, which are silicon coated multi-strand cables, so very flexible, and will withstand a lot more pulling and transportation than these have done. And these have worked well for us, but we have noticed that wear and tear is now having an effect on them. Okay, so there are a lot of boards to do, a lot of boards to rewire. It's a big task, so we've got to be a bit organised about this. So we're in preparation phase in cutting the cables. So in here, we are making 50 centimetre umbilical cords. So we've cut our cables into 50 centimetre length, so that's the DCC buses, the green. Our grey is our CAN bus, and our red and black cables are for a 12-volt bus to drive the MegaPoints.
And these are all multi-strand, highly flexible.
Multi-strand, silicon coated, very flexible.
And it's one umbilical cable per baseboard, is it? I guess.
Well, yes, one per board.
Okay.
2 connections, one either end. So what the guys are doing here, just for preparation, is colour coding everything up. Again, I'm big on clarity. So in here, we've got a ton of the 12 connectors, and on Thursday, Peter and I went through and we colour coded all of the sockets and plugs, so that when we come to wire it, we all know which wire goes to where.
And each one of those pins can handle 10 amps, yeah?
Yep, that's right. That's right. So they're the plug and sockets.
Okay.
Then each board needs a terminal block at each end to wire the 2 metre length. We'll come to that in a minute. So these guys are just colour coding up our terminal blocks.
Right.
Again, in the same fashion as these green ones. And again, that's just to provide clarity on what wire goes to what when we come to wire the actual board. And it just saves us, it will quicken up the entire process.
Right.
So that's what Peter, Robin and Paul are doing here. So one of the first things we want to do is just wire up or rewire a fiddle board and a scenic board. So this is one of our fiddle boards, and Tom is just in the process of dewiring.
You can leave it on your children
on here.
Right, okay.
And what we're going to be doing is one of those. So we're putting one of the terminal blocks here, one at the other end, and then we'll be having a 2 metre runner cable.
So this is your bus going down there?
Yeah, so there'll be 2 metre buses going down the middle connected to these terminal blocks.
Right.
And that's going to be one of our next tasks, is to cut the 2 metre cables, and we've got drums of wire to do that now.
Terminal blocks. Did you look into tag strips?
We did. Our preferred method was we're going to solder everything. So we wanted to put tag strips in, but you cannot now get tag strips. They've become obsolete, and the only ones we could get were from China, and the freighting of getting those here was astronomical. So we found a different method, which was our terminal blocks. To do all of this wiring, Dave has got to route out these,
right,
so they can put the sockets in. So we've proven that today that works, and works really well. One of these in here, lovely, and then the next one will go to the next board along like that.
Okay.
And to facilitate our wiring and having the boards easy to work on, Dave's come up with a fantastic method of holding the boards, and that we can angle the boards as well. So I'll let Dave explain what's going on with those.
We can do it now if you want.
Yeah, go.
Well, we need a couple of people to hold it each side.
Do you want to swing this side out first?
Yeah.
You'll have to come up a bit.
Oh. Right. You putting it on the washer on there?
Well, that seemed remarkably straightforward.
I might be a bit struggling. I've only got 3 of them long bolts at the minute. I'll take another one. But it'll stay on anyway. You got them on your hand. Yeah. Sorry to stuff. Yeah. Right, you can pull it out off there now. Whoa. Watch it though. I might have to put a bit more stability on it. Have they gone in?
Yeah.
Does that bolt go through?
That will go all the way.
Does the other one?
The other one does, yeah.
Right.
So I'll wash it.
You want washers?
Yes, please.
How many?
Just for the one. One washer, one not.
Can we move all that way down?
Shit, hang on. Want me to carry it now?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Come on down here.
Good there.
Yeah, I need a bit more stability on it.
Happy?
Right.
My pins
So
out.
in theory, you can tilt it.
Cool.
That's in theory.
We haven't put a 45 on this side, so you'll only have one
Hang on,
pin.
do it the other way. There. Yeah, I've got all that at that angle. Yeah? Go over there. Put it. Take it over there. That'll give it a bit of stability.
Yeah,
you
that's
see.
solid.
Right, and if I put another hole in there,
Yeah.
put another dowel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right, you got the dowel? Yeah, that's not
Brilliant.
a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Just open it up a bit on the.
could put a bigger one for you.
No, that's better.
Alright.
So I've done, I don't know if you're videoing, but we've got the red line, yellow, and then, so these are just our trap feeds. Then we're going to have the 4 buses along the board. So
Fantastic.
slowly.
It's like an easel.
I don't think the trains will stay on.
Dave, I was going to say, ain't you got the wrong way up for the trains? They'll fall off.
Be alright for...
Magnetic.
Be alright for... Who was that? An EC had it running upside down.
Got 2 empty holes
That circular one running upside down.
between the green and
Right. And then we can do them. So I can screw them. I'm going to put them near the bottom here, right? But we have to have 2 boards together, so I can't do them at the minute.
And Dave, for the connectors, you've made a jig.
Yeah. There it is.
Show us the jig. How does that work?
Because you've got to do a left and a right hand end,
Yeah.
you make a double template. It's easier, right? And put a line in the middle, yeah? So, I can't show you on this end board now because it's got that on it. But basically, that fits over at the end, yeah?
Right.
But, how can I say? That lines up with the bottom of the baseboard here.
Right.
That puts the slot then at the right height for these plugs.
Okay.
And that, if you hold that a minute, can somebody hold that?
Stand there, Pete, and look useful.
What we do then,
Oh, blimey, that's a big one.
yeah, it's only a little one this. It's one of the smaller ones I've got.
Does it make lots of noise?
Well, I'm not going to start it.
We like noise.
Hey, hang on.
Take your fingers out first.
I'm not even going to do it. What happens then, you put that
Yep.
part,
Yep.
runs in that slot,
Right.
and this is, it goes up and down until you cut through.
Oh, very smart.
And it cuts, that's already done, so it cuts the slot in there so you can put the plugs in.
Will you be doing some more later?
No, I ain't got any more than that.
Okay.
I'll do one next week.
Okay, I'll be here for next week. Stay tuned. Dave cuts a hole next week.
That speeded that job up, hasn't it?
Yeah.
How many done now? 1? Well, baseboard.
Yeah, but I could do all.
Because you've got 37.
I could do all 36 in a couple of hours.
He's done 100% more than that, hasn't he? He's done 2. Oh no, it's 1.
Once you're jigged up, it's easy now. All I've got to do is clamp that jig on and out to the blue slots. It's a 2-minute job.
The answer's always a jig, isn't it?
Well, you can't keep. Oh, I can't see now to measure, so I've got to make jigs. Can't percent out.
And if you like colours, there's an entire rainbow down that end of the production line.
Right, so you're all right now, aren't you?
What's the unit called?
Z21.
There's Z21. How many are there?
You get 2 outputs per
Double.
booster.
So what is there 2 for a layout?
You need 4 of those per layout.
4 Z21s.
No,
4 Z21
Dual
boosters.
So it's 1 Z21.
One Z21 base unit per layout, and then 4 dual boosters per layout.
Yes, okay.
Plus spares. We
Yes.
always need spares.
Well, we've currently got 2 dual boosters, I think, and then 3 singles.
I had to practice on colouring books before we were allowed to do this, you know.
Did you?
Yeah,
And did you get a passing score?
I think his teacher's not giving the scores yet, but he's busy watching me, you know, behind my back, you know what I mean? We're going to get my mortar, you know, proper mortar for his head next week, you know.
Yeah.
My God. Oh, I thought you were joking.
No.
What are you doing?
See the size of the job, Pete?
Colouring all these
Pete?
individual things
That's-
for the wiring.
That's
they're in my line.
one
now.
bus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Chris, do you want to check any of these? Quality control?
Pete will check them.
Better working position. Set the lights right under you.
Spot on, thank you very much.
So every time
Yep,
you change over,
Happy with that, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's for me.
Just
Yep, just want to keep wiring that.
there's two different types, so I'm labelling one set with a line on the back, so they get mixed up. They know which, you know, these type, this type.
Machines downstairs.
Yeah, oh yes, I found it, thanks. One's the reverse of the other, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. So this is just going to have a blue line on. The others will have no line on, so they get mixed up. It's so easy to pick up. Rather, because when you look at them both the same, they look very similar.
And that's all right, isn't it? Makes it a bit tidier.
Yeah.
And then, so there's I think we've agreed
What you need to is keep
them. Yeah.
keep
So
the wires if you can away from these bolts.
they're the most vulnerable ones, them, aren't they?
Yeah.
But we're getting rid of them.
Right.
So.
You don't want any dangly wires below there, do you?
No. Ideally, we want them soldered straight to the line, but I think if we put them, connect them in one line, it just makes it a bit easier. But is this for the money shot?
Yeah, but I can't find it.
Oh yeah.
We've got 5, actually. We've got 5 missing screws.
Give us a smile.
It could be that there aren't any, it's just...
Tend to be doing stuff at the same time.
One fire.
Well, so this is the trick. We're trying to get cancelled.
Unless you've got a little back for them.
You do this for a living, yeah? Play with trains?
Of course.
Another one.
Do you know what? That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
Because you can have one set up and the other one what you're working on.
All right.
Yep, that'd be great.
I'll make another set.
Yes, please.
So here's the weekly MT5 update. Everyone's up doing wiring at the moment, so I don't see anything going on here. Let's have a walk down it.
Oops. Yeah, oh.
One thing you won't be able to do with a wire stripper is take the out the cover.
No.
So you need a sharp standing on
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to run out of wrists before then. Are you counting this or just doing the lot?
Just doing the lot.
They've got any cheap ones at Little when they go tomorrow, I'll pick one up.
No, you want expensive ones because the cheap ones aren't really good. You want a pair of really big buggers.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many we're going to do.
So Peter, what's this cable for?
This is the bus bars.
Okay.
This is to carry all the power on the 4 lines. So we used to have one which did all 4 lines.
Right.
We are now going to have 4, one for each line.
And a 12 volt bus as well.
This is, yeah, well, the 12 volt bus is different.
Different wire.
Yeah. This is the main power all the way around the boards.
Last time we were stripping the
Yeah, well,
wires
the other
completely out, and
the
they were
reason we
glued,
did
weren't
it,
they?
the reason we did it last time. You replacing all 4 or just 3?
We'll probably do all 4.
Right.
It depends the state of them, to be honest.
Oh well, they're fine.
Are you going to set homework for people, Chris?
Sorry?
You're going to set homework for people? Here's 50 cables, come back.
It might come to that.